and it let out this blood-curdling, guttural scream.
On the side of the road, he sees a deer carcass and something eating on it, which he thought was a bear. And as the lights hit it, it stood up. And, like, this gives me chills talking about it. He said it stood up and it had the face of a man.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bigfoot Live. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Brian.
Well, we just did a show with Scott Brush, and as of course, it's always phenomenal with Scott. You and him just played off each other wonderfully, as I had technical problems again.
That's okay. We had fun.
Yeah, and it seems like the message got across, so that's cool.
Yeah.
To me, I disappeared. Of course, I couldn't see myself. Could you guys see me?
We saw a black screen, and
Okay,
every once
cool.
in a while, a circle would come up with the Bigfoot face in it. And
That
then it
was
would,
me. That
okay.
was me turning the camera on and off,
Okay.
trying to get it to work. And then I was entering stage and leaving stage. So when I'm off stage, that's one of my logos that comes
Okay.
up. Like right now, I'll do it. I'll show you.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So that's my logo. You can still hear me.
Yep.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, cool. We got
Yeah.
one person watching. Hello, everyone. We're just
Hi.
we're doing a test right now. Trying to figure out what's going on. I do believe now it's the StreamYard platform.
Mhm.
I might even do it from inside the house. But see, the internet, I've got full bars on the internet with this extender now. It just seems to be something about the StreamYard platform when you start adding people. So I
Mhm.
figure, all right, me and you will get on here and see if like
Mhm.
just us two is fine. And
Yeah.
see, and it usually happens between 10 and 15 minutes into it.
Yes. Yes. So we'll just continue talking about fascinating things, Brian.
Yes. Actually, I've got to make a disclaimer. Everybody, my apologies. I was totally wrong per my notes. One of my eyewitnesses watched the show. And when I mentioned the beings, the 5 beings were between, wait, hold on. I want to get this right. So we got some guys riding a dirt bike. I had said that they saw a being or 5 different beings between 16 and 18 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. Those are inches. So, Brenda's here. Let's bring Brenda in.
Yes, please.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Hi.
Hello. So I'm making a disclaimer right now, Brenda. I thought the beings were between 16 feet and 18 feet. I mentioned that on tonight's show, and I mentioned it on the NCI show, I think last night. This reminded me of you. They're 16 inches to 18 inches tall, so little people with red eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are those called puckwudgies?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm looking it up in George Lunsford's book.
Yes, let's look at the expert's book.
George has done, I don't know, maybe I'll get one after this is all said. Well, I don't know if I'll ever end doing this, but at 5 years, I was supposed to write a book. We'll see. But looking at all that George has poured into this, I should say, it is absolutely amazing. All right, there we are, page 100 on George Lunsford's book, Monsters of the World, a Pugwudgie. Okay, that is that is chapter 100, page 266. 7. All right. I'm very interested to hear about this. Last night on the NCI show, we actually talked about the Jersey Devil a little bit.
Mhm. That was a
Um,
Yeah,
great
I
show
watched that
last
one
night.
too last night.
oh,
That was a
did you?
great
Cool.
show.
See, I'd heard of the Jersey Devil, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I didn't know it was winged.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
seen pictures of it before.
yeah.
All right,
Rendering.
guys. The Pugwudgie. Let's see if you can see that right there.
Yeah, the
That
little furry
little
guy.
creature. By the way, you can. This is so
It
important.
kind of looks like it's got a bald face, sorta, right?
No, this one's got hair. At least this little sketch. 2 to 3 foot tall. Can appear and disappear at will.
Mm,
Were once friendly to humans. They are known to kidnap people, push them off cliffs, attack their victims with short knives and spears, and to use sand to blind their victims. That doesn't sound very nice, George Lunsford, whose books can be bought on Amazon. So, all right, guys, let me read this, ladies. Pugwudgie, also spelled Pugwudgie, is a human-like being and said to be 2 to 3 feet tall, 61 to 91 centimeters.
mm,
According to legend, pugwudgies can appear and disappear at will and shapeshift. The most common form is a creature that looks like a porcupine from the back and a half troll, half human from the front, and walks upright and lures people to their deaths. They use magic, launch poison arrows, and create fire. Native Americans believed that pugwudgies were once friendly to humans, but then turned against people and should be left alone. According to lore, a person who annoys a pugwudgie would be a victim of nasty tricks by the creature or subject to being followed by the pugwudgie who would cause trouble for them. They are known to kidnap people, push people off of cliffs, attack their victims with short knives and spears, and to use sand to blind their victims. Pugwudgies are said to be the enemies of culture heroes Musop and Granny Squinit. One story from the Wampanoag folklore explains that they began causing mischief and tormenting the tribe out of jealousy of the devotion and affection of the tribe that had for Musop, who eventually exiled them to different parts of North America. The Pugwudgies have since been hostile to humans and took revenge by killing Mushop's 5 sons. Oh my goodness. Some variations even suggest that they killed Mushop himself.
wow.
Brenda, in your episode coming up, man, you saw something little with red eyes.
Yeah, and I got like a glimpse of like just some like bald skin. I don't know if it was like on the face or if it was, part of its body, but like
Mm,
as it moved from the other side of the fence and started after it hissed at me, it kind of growled and hissed at the same time. It was a weird noise, very weird. And
Wow.
at first I thought, is that like a possum sitting on the fence or something? But it's not going to be like emitting red
yeah.
light out of its eyes. A possum wouldn't. And I wasn't shining any light on it. And the my mom's floodlight in the yard there wasn't lighting it up either. Because if it was, I'd be able to see what it was. But I just was seeing just little glimpses of it from that yard light. But its eyes the eyes weren't reflecting from the yard light or anything. It was like it was emitting the red itself.
Oh, wow.
But
Ooh.
I
Gotcha.
couldn't really tell how big or small it was, if it was something sitting on the fence, small enough to sit on the fence, or if it was just on the other side of the fence. But when it ran off, I decided it must have been something on the other side of the fence, because I could hear it pretty good running through that little paddock area toward the woods.
Yeah.
How far away was it? Was it close or far?
I was about 60 feet,
Oh, okay.
60, 70 feet from it, from the
Okay, that's
fence.
pretty close still.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going into the house. Had been getting out of work when I lived with my mom, and I was getting home. Well,
Oh,
I worked second shift. I closed down this the gas station, and so must have been about 11:30 or so, midnight maybe.
hmm,
11:30 or 12 at night, about midnight.
wow.
Yeah, that's I know in this book as well, David Pilates, Bigfoot, Wild Men, and Giants. I've read a little person account before as well, but this one was really a miniature Bigfoot. I'll be right back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now,
So
I
what?
can I can hear you guys, but the volume is down quite a bit, and I've got my phone volume up all the way.
Oh, and you know, I can hear you and you're perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So am I quiet?
And
Is mine?
usually, like when I've been in StreamYard before, I've only had to turn my volume up about halfway, but now
Okay.
I've got it all the way up, and it's
So do I. So do I. I have to turn it all the way up to here.
Interesting. Hello, everybody who's watching. We're just talking about some technical difficulties that it seems like every time I do a live show, anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes into it, I disappear. I can't I mean, Scott Brush and Sherry Redu a few minutes ago, you guys sounded like mice. I had to listen to
Oh,
you on my secondary phone with a short delay to be able to talk to you.
oh wow.
Yeah. But
yeah,
super
that
cool.
fence was that fence was about it's at least 3 foot high. It's more like 4 foot
Mm,
high, the top of that fence. So it was, I mean, it wasn't, unless it was a juvenile or very small um, forest person. I don't know, but it was very, very. I didn't get the sense that it was at all. I
Right.
got a sense it was something very, very odd, something I'd never encountered before.
Well, from my understanding, Sasquatch, like deer or any other wild animal, they're up on their feet pretty quickly. It's not like, our toddlers, what it took my, sons 10 to 12, I think 10 months. Mine were late to get up and
Mm-hmm.
start walking. But I hear Sasquatch, man, they're relatively up pretty quickly. So it could have been, or maybe even, see, I don't know. I correlate it with that Dogman sighting your mom had. Was it a young Dogman? Because Mike
yeah.
Bale, the one I just read last week, it was definitely an adolescent Dogman. He said it was feeding on a dead deer carcass and
Hmm.
was when it saw him in coming in the minivan with his family, this thing stood up on two legs and then ran off on two legs.
Wow.
So I think
Mm,
he said that one was only 48 inches or something, 2 to 4
Hmm.
feet. Yeah, right around two, I think.
Well, the hiss didn't the kind of hiss growl sound it made. It didn't sound canine to me at all.
Oh, okay.
Um,
mm,
it I don't know. I've had a possum hiss at me before, but
yeah.
I mean not loud. Excuse me, not loud like that.
Okay.
It was somewhat loud. I mean, I heard it plainly from that distance, and because that's what got my attention. And I looked over there and I saw the red eyes, and they were spaced farther apart than what a possum would. And then when it took off running, and I could hear it running. I'm like, yeah, that's not just a possum. That's not a possum scurrying. You know, it was
Yeah.
making too much noise when it was running through that paddock area.
Okay.
They don't move that
I'm
fast.
Hey, everybody watching on YouTube. We can see you. Kenny Hess says he can hear and see us both. Good. Hey, Tim Dills. Hey, buddy boy. Hi, Brian and panel says lady in the lake. Volume is
Mhm.
good on this end, says Kenny. So good deal on that.
Thank you
So
for the
then,
feedback.
yeah,
You're,
definitely.
I can hear you really well, Brian.
Good. Good. I got the heater turned off. Did you guys see the Dogman Chronicles #5 that I released?
Not yet. I didn't see it yet. I didn't. Tonight I will.
Okay.
I may
All right.
have. I've seen a number of them.
Mhm.
That's an eyewitness account of somebody I know pretty well. Either walking behind a tree and disappearing or walking into the tree. And it's really funny because out of the years now we've been doing this, we haven't heard about trees being actual portals or them walking into trees or being a tree and then turning into a Sasquatch. I've heard all of that. But what's funny about it is I haven't heard about it until just lately. And I think it's because that's one of those aspects that people are really afraid to talk about. And I get it. When I come home to my girlfriend Laura, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just saw a tree turn into a Sasquatch and then back again. Oh yeah, I'm a crackpot then, right? It's like, whoa, go get medicated.
Yeah. Right.
Well, no one's ever accused me of being normal.
Yeah.
See, what I think is so interesting about your location, Brenda, and we're gonna have a party there. Sherry, we're all going
Yeah.
there,
Yep.
campfire, whatever. It is just in very interesting area how it's set.
Hmm.
I don't want to, we want to keep the location a secret, but Brenda, it's almost like you have different sections, and then in each section, it's like, man, you've had some, whether it be, a Bigfoot cloaking or a Bigfoot in plain sight or a UFO. It's almost like each section has had the Phantom horse. Each section, the Dogman, the little person, has had its own activity.
Yeah, and then I don't know if I remember to tell you about when you came down here that some years ago we were riding our horses along in the middle of that block out in the hayfields, and in a wooded section on that property there was some loud splashing, and it lasted about 10 minutes, and we were like, and I didn't attribute that to actually I believe it happened before I had my sighting, so I wasn't attributing that to forest people or anything like that. We kind of surmised that maybe it was like a large herd of deer jumping through some huge mud puddle in that area of the woods. I mean, we couldn't see into the woods. It was summertime, but I mean, the splashing went on for like 10 minutes, and it went on we were riding around this big field, and we could hear it the whole time we were riding around the field and up the other way. So it was a lot of splashing, and we're like thinking, look, if that's deer jumping through a puddle or something, then that's a lot of deer. And I've never seen that many deer together out there. It was just, so now I'm wondering, that might not have been the biggest herd of deer that I've ever heard splashing through puddles or something. It's just
Right.
bizarre.
Well,
Okay, let me check in. So hey, right now we're at 20 minutes and we've had
yeah.
no technical issues. Lady of the Lake says audio and everything looks fine on her end. Switching over to Facebook right now. Robin Martin says, hello, Brian and panel. I'm in your YT YouTube chat as well. All right. Thank you, Robin. Are you Lady in the Lakes? I think you are. Thank you so much. Ed Steele says, hey, y'all. Hey,
Aw.
Ed, we're praying for you, buddy. We know you're
Yes.
having some medical
Hi,
issues.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed. You're in my prayers, bud.
Yep. Mine too.
We have to convince Ed to take us to his area.
Yeah. I don't think we have to
all-
convince him too hard.
All
We had
I
an
can
invite,
say,
Brian, you and I. We just couldn't make it that time.
oh, okay, then we need to reschedule Ed
We
because
do.
here's what I can say about Ed is he's got one heck of an alpha out there.
Mhm.
Okay. From what it sounds like. He says, sounds perfect here on my end. Robin Martin says, hi, Brian and panel. Okay, she said that already. Enrique is chiming in, is watching with us. Oh, Scott Brush says, thank you again. Scott, thank you so much. I always
Yeah.
feel so bad when we get guests on here, and this has been ever since I've tried to do the live show, is when we've had the audio, or at least audio and video problems. But right now, it's going fine. Enrique, we are all doing well, and yes, you and I are going to get out. Let's just schedule a Saturday this year, Enrique. I really want to get out there to the Lapeer State game area.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, let's go. I'm ready. All right, buddy, let's schedule a day. What would you guys like to see? So I think the format, talking about the town hall meetings, you are my moderators. Only Cheryl Green is not here tonight, but she could be watching. She was watching earlier. So you're moderators of our group, our private group. What would you all like to see in a town hall meeting? Do you think we have the right formula? What could we do differently? Any thoughts?
Whew.
Is it going to be
honestly,
in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Right
Yeah.
now, I believe one's going to be in September and one in October.
Mhm.
Because later in the fall, after the horse show season is done and over with, then business lightens up for us, and I can, possibly get away.
Okay.
I can get away from work for a day or two.
Yeah. That would be good, Brenda, because, yeah.
I'd love to
Especially for
come
the
back up
TC
there
one.
to Traverse City.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. Brian,
Had
I was
such a
thinking
good
on
time.
that format. I'm sorry, Brenda, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
So I was thinking on the format, Brian, because we struggled the last time because we only had the little screen and I wasn't
Mhm.
able to show the awesome photos and everything because we only had a little 30-inch monitor and I couldn't
Yes.
set it up. So when I've been calling around for the venues, I've been asking if they have a drop down big screen set up and they do. And the equipment is
Nice.
there. They do charge extra for the equipment, right? It's a rental, right? But I honestly think that it would be so much more impactful to be able to see in front of them when people are speaking about their experiences and sharing the evidence and the photos and in the videos, to see this, in big screen like that would definitely provide more of an impactful presentation.
Do you know if they have a tech guy or a tech person to go along with that? Rick
I can ask.
Stiltner says hello. He's going to be on our show soon.
Yes.
Also, ladies, all right, so let's find out if there's a tech guy to go with it. And then talking about the podcast show, I am going to switch to a laptop. That way I can incorporate pictures as we're going live and video and all that. So that it might even happen this week, and I might have that ready for next week.
If you want to test that, Brian, we should.
Okay. All right. Then we'll try to do that this week.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm going to have the week off of work. Right now, we're doing some retooling at work, so I might have the
Oh,
whole
good.
week off. That'll give me
Okay.
time to do that. I'm behind on everything, editing season 3, so I appreciate everybody's. Oh, okay. First of all, Dawn Ellis, who's one of my first eyewitness. Everybody at home, you want to hear this.
Mhm.
Here is your encounter. If you can, go to bigfootsofmichigan.com. Pretty soon that's going to be taken over by a company, and they're going to handle everything for us. You're going to be able to schedule your appointments on the podcast show or with the TV series. Give your account, and then that'll filter to me. So that's coming up in 2026. But Dawn Ellis, she was one of our first eyewitnesses.
Mm.
And Dawn's encounter is so very important because she has the connection between alien and Bigfoot. Her Sasquatch wasn't, so think normal Sasquatch, but had kind of a gray alien type eyes.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
In fact, her write up, you know what? Let me see if I can get that. Her
yeah.
write up is in our .com. So I'm going to answer here in a minute. Let me pull that up. Bigfoot's. You think I'd have a direct link? There it is, right there. Oh, Michigan. No, not the TV show. Bigfoot's of Michigan. Yeah, I think the laptop is going to be better,
Mhm.
so I can do more things and see the comments better because the
Yeah.
comments are so small here. Sean O'Leary says, "Hey everybody,
Hey,
how are you,
Sean.
Sean?
Hey,
Thanks for tuning in."
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
So yeah, while we're doing this, man, I love this. We're 26 minutes in and no technical problems. All right, I'm going to go to Dawn Ellis's write up on bigfootsofmichigan.com. Let's see. I believe it's in the My Story section. Welcome to My Story, Bigfoot pictures and all that kind of stuff. Here it is. All right, so here's the Dawn Ellis write up, y'all. Now, this happened way back in 1986, but I'm going to tell you right now, anything to me that's happened in the last few years is pertinent information. So, back in the fall of 1986, myself and a friend of mine were walking on Old Dean Forest Road in Savannah, Georgia. It
Mm.
was about midnight. We worked at the stables there, so we were ready for some downtime. We decided to take a walk to the store. On our way back, we were walking on the far right side of the road by the edge of the pavement, by the shoulder. We had a full moon that night and sitting about 20 feet from us. So, not far away, 20 feet from us was a Sasquatch squatting down by an old pig pen, just sitting down in that moonlight peacefully. Well, of course, we're kind of sort of tripping out, and adrenaline starts flowing as we see this thing. And she says, "My friend has already lost her load that we just bought from the store." So basically, they dropped what they had, and all those items now bought from the store are all over the road. My friend threw everything down and just jetted. So now I'm the only one standing there. I'm looking, studying this creature with everything that I've got, meaning that I'm looking for an imposter. You know, I can't believe this is real, but I couldn't find a hoax anywhere in him. As the creature was still sitting there in that full moonlight, I could see his big, wide nostrils moving with each breath. I could
Mm.
see the hot air mixing with the cold air coming from his nostrils. I could see his chest muscles moving in and out with each breath that he took. So I knew that this was genuine. I knew he was genuine. I was so in tune with this guy that my friend had to say, "Hey, get your ass over here." So I walked up to where she had run to, about 100 feet away, roughly. We're standing there in the middle of this road now, walking in circles, trying to figure out what just happened and what this thing is. We were trying to decide if we should tell the law, call the police or not, because we both knew how trigger happy they are. So we're sure about calling the police, afraid it might shoot them, especially things that they don't understand. So a few more minutes passed, and then this creature walked out on all fours like a dog, then stood up. He was about 8 to 9 feet tall, a super wide chest. His head, face, his eyes looked exactly like a gray alien eyes, very wide, deep, black looking holes. I could even see his privates almost underneath his beautiful reddish looking hair. All right, so we got a big Sasquatch male, evidently, reddish looking hair, but alien gray eyes. He stared at us for a long time, standing in the middle of the road. I swear that he was trying to communicate to us, show us something, but we weren't ready for that information because of our fear. I wasn't scared so much. I actually wanted to go with them. It was my friend that was so scared and not me as much. But fear is usually what holds people from advancing. We ended up making the decision to walk to the next store, not far from there, to let a county mountie know. I hated telling the cop about it and any of it. I was afraid of my, wait, let's see, about it and any of it, afraid of my boy that I just met being shot. Okay, so she was worried about the county mountie shooting it, being shot or possibly killed. So I didn't like my decision that I just made, but it's done now. What can I do now? All I can do is go back and tell my new friend to jet. Before we knew it, there were 8 squad cars, 2 people in each. Oh my goodness. Before we knew it, let me read that again. So she tells the county mountie, hey, look, there's a Bigfoot over there. Before they know it, there were 8 squad cars, 2 people in each, 2 helicopters looking everywhere. Nothing was
Wow.
found. Right, right. You see that? You tell me the
Yes.
government doesn't know or didn't believe her. He didn't stand there just trying, oh, come on, what do you think? No, he made a call and then all of these assets showed up. 8
Yeah.
squad cars, double that,
Yes.
at least 16 county mounties, so maybe upwards of 20, 2 helicopters looking everywhere. Thankfully, nothing was found. After the show was over, we finally went home. My friend was staying with me, so we were chilling for a minute in her room, listening to the radio, going over what had just happened in our minds. The song quit playing, and a man's voice came on and told us to turn on the TV. We looked at each other nervously, shaking our heads like, no way did we just hear that voice. We turned on the TV, nothing but white noise. The message was through the white noise, but we were stupid at the time and couldn't understand. I believe that I understand now that he came to meet us to show us that they do exist and that they are more advanced than us, that they can go and come at will. And if we just wake up, so could we. And we could be so much further ahead than we are now as a people. And another thing, we have to get past all of this hate for each other. It's killing us. That's why most people aren't ready for any of this information, because most humans will kill everything they don't understand. The Sasquatch will always remain my friends, and I'd take a bullet for one of them just to keep them safe from us.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
I haven't
amazing.
read, yeah, I haven't read that in a while. It just blew my mind.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just another example of how they are being guarded, you know, from the public.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry, ladies.
amazing.
Yeah, that blows my mind because for me, hold on a second. I'm going to answer her because I'm trying to get her on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put talking about you now on the podcast show. Hope you can come on.
Mhm.
Hopefully can have you on. That to me is a definite alien connection.
Absolutely.
All right, hold on a second, ladies. I want to do one more thing so I don't lose her. All right. We're scrolling down. Lady in the Lake. Hi, Brian. Everybody. We're Sean
Is
O'Leary.
that
Okay,
Angie?
That's Angie.
Oh, is Angie on?
Angie's on.
Awesome. Hello, Angie. Miss you. Hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure. She is one who really had kind of the foreknowledge,
Well, we're talking
got
about
me.
Angie,
Angie
Sherry's
Elizabeth?
dog.
Oh,
Oh, your
that,
dog. I was
yeah,
talking
sorry
about
about that, Brian. Didn't say
Good,
plural.
Angie.
I was talking about Angie Elizabeth. She's the first one who got me
She
Yeah.
was
really
watching.
thinking away.
She was watching from your Facebook profile.
Yeah.
The
I asked her to
podcast
join us.
earlier.
Oh, fantastic! Because she was such a pivotal moment. She kind of her whole account helped jar me away from the gigantic Pithecus way of thinking.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
She's
hold on a
amazing.
second. I'm sending this to Dawn Ellis because to get her on the show would be so very important at this juncture. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, so going back to that, so my mistake, everyone, the 5 beings on the trail where the guys were riding the dirt bikes. This is for the NCI show last night and our live show tonight. We're not 16 feet to 18 feet tall. They're 16 inches to 18 inches tall, roughly, red eyes, so possibly little people or very small Sasquatch. There is a lot of Sasquatch out here.
Well, maybe we've talked about shape shifting, Brian. The thing is can they shrink themselves? If they can cloak themselves, is it possible they can shrink their size? And,
That's a
these
good
are the things
point.
that make it very, unusual in some respects, because anything that can manipulate mass is very powerful. Who knows, if they have those
Oh,
abilities.
I don't doubt that one bit, Sherry. I've been compiling a list, what I call the Hollywood connection.
Yeah.
And it's funny what you just said. I have Jim Henson's Jack and the Beanstalk. So you've got
Yeah.
supposedly a life-size Jack dealing with a giant, but then I also have Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
And supposedly those are little people. Remember,
Yes.
Gulliver is supposed to be a normal size, and he goes to a land where there are little people.
Yes. The land of the giants were little people.
Oh yeah. And then last night, where's my book? I love using props. You guys know that. I was right in front of me. What do we got here? Right in front of me, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
There was a sighting. I think either North Carolina or if you watch the NCI show last night, Brenda, do you remember they talked about footprints and a lizard type
Yes.
creature from the Black
Yeah.
Lagoon type?
Yep.
There you go. There's a good picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Hollywood knows about this stuff. What year was Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh my gosh, that would have been in the 50s, right?
Had to
60s?
be.
Yeah, 50s, I think, right? I'd have to look it up.
I'm doing it right now because I think there you go. Good call, Sherry. 1954.
Yeah. But the one thing that I can't put a finger on is Godzilla. I mean, I'm just saying.
To me, right here. Oh my gosh, look what I got, guys.
Dragon.
All right, so
Maybe
Exactly.
a dragon.
Yeah.
You know
I
what,
have been-
Brian.
What, Brenda?
You had posted something before about I don't know, this was maybe 6 months ago. About the skeletons of like T-Rex, raptors, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And their arms are so little. How
Yeah.
could their arms be so little?
Wings.
Unless they were wings.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm leaning towards that now.
Dragons.
Yep.
T-Rex with wings. That looks like that would, I would imagine that would look like a dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard a recent story about the draconians or the reptilians believing that they have a connection to dinosaurs, almost like they were the reptilians' creation or maybe pets or something of that nature. So I got to follow up on that. Supposedly, I think that was a volcanic mountain somewhere out in the California area, just along that coast somewhere. That there is a whole civilization in one of those volcanic mountains. And there was a connection there to the dinosaurs. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense now. If we really look at it, it's got the big leg. What's it need those little arms for? We don't
Yeah.
know.
With
Will we
such
ever
little
know?
arms, they can't really grab anything to, why would they need such little arms like that? There'd be no use for them.
Right.
They
Right.
had to have been wings, I think.
Yep. Also, ladies, you know what? You're so awesome putting up with me because I jump all over the place. I have so much stuff going through my brain. Hollywood connection, Superman. What's his name? What's his real name other than Superman? It's
Call
Kal-El, right?
Kal-El.
Yep.
Oh, from the planet that he's from, they call him Kal-El. Yeah.
Right. Well, L, so it'd be like Brian L. or Sherry L. or Brenda L. This is a connection to a Canaanite supreme deity, supposedly father of the gods. He had bull horns, and they represented his power and his crown. And it was okay in the context of ancient Near Eastern mythology and old gods. El, according to the Hebrew narrative, is primarily the name of the supreme creator deity of the Canaanite pantheon. The term also serves as a general Northwest Semitic word for god or deity. So when Hollywood's, and then it goes on to talk about Bull El, which was also part of, was it the Phoenicians, I believe? I can't find it here, but just in various religions back then, they had gods, Bull El or something, and here you get Kal-El. He's a flying god from another planet. All right? So you got that connection. Then I've got all my little toys here. Nowadays, this guy's known as Aquaman.
Yeah.
But he was first known as Submariner, right? That is a connection to the god Dagon, which was a fish type god that came out of the water and shown itself to, I think, the Sumerians. So all this stuff has been going on. Look, we got Half Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff. Ladies, not that I have a bunch of toys laying around, but
You do.
I got a bunch of toys laying around. So that whole narrative is just absolutely amazing. And then all the Greek stuff I've been doing. Do a study on Medusa. She was a giant. Her offspring were Pegasus and the Golden Giant. So she was so large, and her sisters were so large. Yeah. So then she morphed later to, what is the story? She betrayed Athena or something, and one of the other gods got jealous of her and cursed her, and that's why she has the snake hair. Oh, here it is. While we're on a roll, okay, I found it. Brenda, you're talking about dragons, right? Did a dragon attack a train in California in 1882? Thank you. In the late afternoon of January 17th, 1882, hold on, a Southern Pacific Railroad train traveling from Yuma, Arizona to Los Angeles, California, experienced a bizarre encounter near Dos Palms, a well-known desert spring in the Colorado desert. So if I'm correct, I was talking on the NCI show some time ago. As we moved west, at least with Indian culture, they would always form a village or a town around a spring or an oasis, right? And that's how a town or the trails would go there. You're going from basically water source to water source and the trails in between. And then later they built the railroad tracks according to those old trails, a lot of the first railroad tracks. So this one, in the late afternoon of January 17th, 1882, a Southern Pacific Railroad express train traveling from Yuma, Arizona to Los Angeles, California, experienced a bizarre encounter near Dos Palms, a well-known desert spring in the Colorado desert. Okay? According to the testimonies of the engineer, firemen, and multiple passengers, the train was moving at high speed. I laugh because high speed back then was probably 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so the train was moving at high speed when the travelers noticed what at first appeared to be a column of sand slowly drifting westward. It soon became clear that this was no natural phenomenon, but a living creature, a huge serpentine beast with a pair of large wings near its head. The creature was estimated to be about 30 feet in length. As it reached the railroad tracks, the train struck the creature's tail, severing a portion of it. The wounded creature reacted instantly. It took flight and began chasing the train, reportedly faster than a chain of lightning. As witnesses described, within moments, it flew over the locomotive and launched an attack. Windows were shattered, loud growls were heard, and panic spread among the passengers. When the winged serpent finally veered away, several passengers fired revolvers at it to no effect. The incident was reported in the newspapers at the time, including the Los Angeles Times, noting that the testimonies were consistent and confirmed by all those aboard the train. The Dos Palms incident is not an isolated case. Throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries, numerous sightings across the United States described flying reptilian creatures commonly referred to as American dragons. And let me see if I can blow up. I love this artist rendering. It's pretty cool. Can barely see it, but it gives you kind of a feel for the size. You got the train there. Yep, you got the train there,
But
and
see that
then the dragon right there.
to me, Brian, though, we had this conversation in the past. Is we talk about the phoenix, the phoenix is another very large bird, reptilian bird, whatever, flying. And it also has fire, and it would show in itself. They call it the lightning, in the lightning storms. They thought that it would bring the lightning.
Oh.
So they called them the firebirds, right? That's where the firebird came from.
And the Thunderbird, maybe?
And the thunderbird, in our native cultures, we had names for these large birds. And of course we have our own stories and legends with them. But yeah, I mean that to me really might not just, dragons were more probably back then understood more, but I don't know. But it could have been.
Right.
Representative to what the natives always referred to as the thunderbird or the firebird or the, phoenix. And
I think you sent me a video clip of one of those before,
correct, I did.
and you could see it when the lightning,
Correct.
when the light from the lightning appeared. You
Yeah.
could see it in the clouds.
Yep.
Awesome.
Exactly. So
Tracy Lynn comment. Sorry to cut you off, Sherry. Tracy Lynn says your shows are always so good. Well, thank you, Tracy. Just meant to be fun and get the word out. Get the information out there. Donna Scopus is back on. Says hello to
oh,
everyone. Dave
hi
Bruce
Donna.
says
Hi,
hello.
Tracy. Hi, Donna.
Enrique Ricardo Sembrano says, "We are the little people.
Yeah,
All the giants are
Yeah.
gone or, from history." Yeah. If
yeah,
you watch all the movies,
true.
and then he says, if you watch all the movies from the Avengers, all of those are supposed to be gods, minus the human people from the group. Right. Good stuff, Enrique. Good
Yeah,
stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, that's something else, man. So that's a recent dragon sighting. Um, Two, what I'm diving into more too, as you ladies know, is this Wendigo that's been
yeah,
sighted in my area.
No, you're
So,
not supposed to say the word. Remember?
well, in the
Donna.
name of Jesus, Brenda, in the name of
Absolutely,
Jesus.
absolutely.
Um, so let's read that account. Last week we had some technical difficulties. See if I can pull that out. Oh, this is a printed version. Hold on, guys. Okay, here it is. All right. Of course, the eyewitness wants to remain anonymous. This is from the Thumb of Michigan. What I'm allowed to say, it is in the tip of the thumb, Port Austin. That's where we put our boat in when we want to watch the July 4th fireworks. Just a beautiful area up there, but it's in that
Beautiful.
general vicinity.
Yep.
And but this is a history. Um, I'm trying to be careful what I say, and I know I always do this, guys, because I'm probably going to do a drive-by soon. I've got all the information on the house, and I don't want to give it out because people might locate it. I don't want anybody getting hurt, Brenda, like you're talking about. We do need to be careful and respect even the folklore on this stuff.
Hmm.
But this is a situation where this is a dire situation where a gentleman and his fiance lived in a house and she got cancer around that time and he became very medically ill, if that's a phrase. um they were seeing shadow people and what they described as multiple high level entities. um in that area he did some researching that there's a ley line that runs right through there. And the Port Austin area, of course, is known, like Traverse City, Sherry, is
Yes,
known for its UFO activity.
yes, it
Boy,
is.
there's that connection between water and land. And that's why I think the
Exactly.
UFOs, yeah, they're hiding out in our Great Lakes.
Yep, yep,
Um, Lots of limestone and quartz there. Derek Grimm and I were up there. Um, There's a city called Grindstone City. It's an old
yep.
village up there where they used to make
Hmm.
grindstones and then ship them throughout the country. So limestone and quartz. Um,
Hmm.
and this eyewitness feels because of these ley lines and some of these minerals are such conductors that it seems this area, quote unquote, seems to hold the past like a magnet. I love that quote from this
Hmm.
eyewitness.
Hmm.
So he had been here, still his property. Fiance got sick. She ended up passing away. This gentleman has since recovered and he had revisited the property. He didn't want to go back, but he revisited the property. And sure enough, whether it was, in the Bible, Jesus comes upon a man who is possessed. And when Jesus asked the demons who are possessing this man what their name is, they refer to him, our name is Legion. And then Jesus cast them out of this man, and they asked to go into a herd of pigs. And we all
Yep,
know the story. Then the herd of pigs run off the cliff. Well, this guy believes this to be a similar type situation. So he believes shadow people, multiple high level entities, many of them is what he says here. Okay. He believes they may have manifested in what we know as a Wendigo, and that'll be the last time we say that. And he said this thing was at least 7 feet tall. its shoulders. He said this thing was all chest and arms, just massive. And it came up. He had his camper hooked to his pickup truck on that property. He hadn't been back in a long time. And this thing came at him, was shaking his camper back and forth. Thank God he had a shotgun with 12 gauge, 3-inch shells, buckshot. And he was able to open the door, and this thing came at him point blank range, and he discharged that shotgun into the chest of this thing. And he said it screamed. And when it screamed, it was something otherworldly, like multiple levels of vocal cords. You know, like I've heard that Sasquatch howl.
Yes.
I always say this. I've heard Sasquatch talk. I've heard him do the samurai chatter. I've heard the howls. What I'm telling you is when you hear Sasquatch, you don't sit there and go, oh, I wonder if that was a Sasquatch. No, you're like, holy, at least for me, because I was fortunate enough to be in close proximity in all of those encounters. You're not sitting there, you know, asking yourself a question, was it or was it not? You know. And like that, this man said when this thing screamed, it was so otherworldly, it was shocking, and it affected him through his chest. He said different tones is how he described it. Different tones. And he said there was like, when it came in close, once he realized that it was it shaking its camper, he said there was like a death cloud that surrounded it. And so that's why he also believes it may have been possessed by what we know as a legion, according to the Bible. The light, wait, does he say the lights? Oh, it made the lights go off and on as well. We've seen that in poltergeist situations. Wow. Triple. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to read that last bit because I don't know about that. That is, all right, so he's, to his knowledge, he believes fire could destroy it. And he also has made an ammo supply of silver. So there, I read it. Okay. So that's Port Austin area. Not too long ago. We're talking recent. I'll get more general about it. It seems to me, and I say this a million times, but I'm going to keep saying it. It's not that they exist that is so surprising. It's that the sheer numbers of all these different type of creatures is so big. You know, I would thought, oh, maybe there's one Sasquatch clan, let's say, in the thumb of Michigan. Oh, no. I know of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know of 5 right now, in just the thumb alone. This does not count all the singular sightings of Sasquatch, all the mother and little ones type. Well, no, then there's another. There's an account of what I call the Bigfoot Mafia that came and stole all those chickens, tore that coop apart, and killed the dog.
Oh, yeah.
So multiple stories. So, man, ladies.
Wow.
That's what, and then you talk about Brenda, the Kalamazoo, the Michigan Skinwalker Ranch in
Yes.
Kalamazoo County.
Yeah.
There are way more of these creatures, these beings, than we ever imagined. I got to get a drink.
Well, and there's you know that other clan down the road too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love
so
it.
like there's 2 known in like a 3-mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
2 clans.
you're talking about the Poop in the Pond clan.
Yeah.
That's my favorite clan.
Yep. The pond poopers.
Tell that story, man. Tell that story.
Oh, about that guy's clan down there. He was, well, he's got this healer dog, and this dog, he says, is pretty fearless, except when, you know, the forest people come around, when the dog senses them. Well, he was out in the pond one day, or at the pond, and the dog wouldn't go out there. Dog ran up to the house and was whimpering and wanting to go back in the house. And he swears these forest people are pooping in his pond because it's just some weird looking stuff. And he's like scooping it out with a fishnet or pool skimmer. I forget what he said, but he was trying to get it out of the pond, and he was grumbling about it out loud, saying, it hollered at him, quit shitting in my pond. And the next thing you know, from the opposite end of the pond, where just past that is where his woods start, there was a rock come flying out of the woods and splashed into the other end of the pond. As if, and when he was telling me this, I just couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, oh, I guess they're telling you they'll shit wherever they want. Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh!
That was the funniest thing I heard. And he doesn't, but he doesn't get any, sense that they were trying to hurt him or anything like that. But that was just funny. And Brian, I was meant to tell you too. I had talked to been messaging on and off with Val Savala a year or so ago. He had because I was curious about other sightings in my area, and he had sent me some other sightings in in the smaller towns nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And within the last 10 or so years. So
wow.
It's there's
oh yeah,
this isn't the only area they're in. They're all over Michigan. They're just all over.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I think that Kalamazoo River, and then if you take that eastward all the way to the River Raisin, there's just, I mean, and then back westward to the Paw Paw River.
What
I
town
mean, that's
was that near?
epicenter.
The Kalamazoo River.
That
clan.
That one's Jackson County. That is, let's read that
county?
one. That's Jackson County. And that is Robert Anderson. I've got the notes right here. Mm-hmm. Robert Anderson, from 1991 on to present day, multiple encounters with a clan of Sasquatch, multiple generations in this clan, all the way from 6 feet to 10 feet tall. He believes there's 9 or 10 members in the clan. 3 are the most he's seen at one time. 2 younger males only got aggressive with him one time. He thinks they just wanted to kind of shoo him back into the house. He had bought some property, him and his wife, and they were going to build on the property, and they were clearing out the trees, and that's when they noticed brush piles being moved from location to location.
Wow.
And then the Sasquatch started showing, well, he first started hearing growls. So he's out there, and then he's also out there deer hunting with his sister. They first started to hear growls in the back of the property where they're clearing it out, noticing brush piles being moved. He put a house on the property. He does say that this particular clan does migrate in the wintertime and comes back in the spring, summer, and fall. He has a 6-foot male, which is now an 8-footer, and the alpha of the clan, his name is Junior. He is dark brown eyes. His hair is dark brown, his eyes are brown, and his skin is brown. But he is of the Patterson Gimlin type. It's funny. He said he's pushing his lawnmower, and they'll just go walking right by him in broad daylight now.
That's
so
great.
used to him. Yeah.
Oh,
a juvenile female as close as 6 feet. He's been that close to one. And then he'll see them standing in the deer tree line watching deer. They once attacked a deer near him, just came out and broke its neck. But fantastic information. Isn't that great? But that's along the Kalamazoo River, I believe, if my notes are correct here, in Jackson County. I'll have to look that up to make sure. Hopefully, I didn't get those notes wrong because I was writing so fast. Some of these I'll get text, but others I do phone interviews as well.
Mm,
And this one was a phone interview, so I was writing as fast as I could.
just hit that recorder mic on your phone next time.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna get that all set up. I love though talking to people,
I
too.
do
But I
too.
know what you're saying. Well, ladies, look at no technical problems.
Exactly.
An hour and 5 minutes. I almost wonder if, gosh, this is so conspiracy theory. I didn't
Yeah.
start having trouble until I started talking about the CIA connection with Hollywood and how they filter information to Hollywood. Then Hollywood will make movies out of it,
Hmm.
like Steven Spielberg making Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. Until I started mentioning that, I did not have technical problems. I always remember that. But as I was saying, we're an hour and 5 minutes into this, almost 6 minutes. Ladies, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Another great show, Brian.
An
It's
unexpected
nice
great
to see
show.
you guys.
I can't believe it. The whole tech thing
Um,
worked the whole time.
oh, on my way home from work, in front of my vehicle, I mean, it was just getting dark. Sun was setting. Still pretty light out. I could see pretty good to do the speed limit home for a change. Thank God for that. Love the light. And a osprey flew
Mm.
across in front of my vehicle.
That's
And I mean, I was closer to work than I was to home.
wow.
So like, I mean,
They
now
followed
it's
you.
like flip to, instead of a hawk, it's an osprey now
Yeah.
that I've been seeing
Wow.
lately.
Yeah.
So
Those are
for,
fishers.
I don't know what, about a
Yes, they
month
are.
or so now.
Yep.
Man, you could follow that right to a Bigfoot clan. Those things are fishers. That'll take you
Yep.
to the fish, and that'll take you to the Sasquatch. Hey, Kevin True is watching. Hello, Kevin True.
Hey, Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
All right, ladies. Thanks for joining me.
Sure.
I just can't believe no problems whatsoever with the tech. So very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I did we have troubles, Sherry, when we were at 8 o'clock, or did it just started happening at 7 o'clock?
No, it was at 8 as well.
Okay. All right, cool. We got to keep
Mhm.
it at 7 for now because of all the
Mhm.
things coming
Yeah.
down the pipe. All right,
Yeah.
ladies. Until next time.
You bet. Take care.
Nice seeing ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.